Hello folks, this is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball, the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on February 27th, 2019. If you'd like to get my game, Decoding the Powerball, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, so the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball Lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. So to help me do that, I'm going to turn to the 5 strategies of my game. Okay, so strategy number 1, the game card color code. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, why I make them is to show you on how to use my game. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is a format that I came up with that represents the 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball Lottery. I really don't have anything for the Powerball itself. My goal is to get all 5 white balls correct and win the $2 million prize with the Power Play option. Okay, so first things first is I'm going to go to the Powerball homepage. And the 5 white winning numbers that just came up were the 4, 6, 14, 20, and 32. Again, I really don't care about the red ball. Okay, so what I do is I take those 5 white winning numbers and I put it at the top of this list. And now I'm going to find out what colors they were. Okay, so the 4 was blue, the 6 was green, the 14 was red, the 20 was green, and the 32 was green. So I'm just going to color those in. So the 6, 20, and 32 were green, and the 14 was red. So now I'm going to count how many colors I have. Okay, so I have 1 blue, 1 red, and 3 green, okay, for 3 colors total. Okay, so now I'm going to come up to the color code drawings where I make this 309. I have kept track of 309 color code drawings now, okay. And out of the 3 color combination, it's up to 167. Okay, so if you do some quick math, you can see that a 3 color combination comes up more than half the time with these drawings. Okay, and I think that that's huge. Okay, because if you just play a 3 color combination all the time, statistically, more than half the time, you're going to be correct. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to make a new game card. So I'm going to get rid of all these colors. And I'm going to start from scratch, okay? So I took 69 white ball numbers, okay? I divided it by 5 different colors, and that represents each of the 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? And that equals 13.8. So my goal is to get as close to as 13 or 14 numbers per color, okay? So I came up with this color code to help me do that, okay? So the color code is right here, all right? And I'm going to start off with this number 4, and I'm going to make all these numbers red, okay? And I'm going to make them red because it's lined up with this red area right here, okay? So again, I'm going to start off with the 4, again the 6, the 14, the 20, the 32, and then the last drawing was 27, 49, 50, 51, 52. And then the drawing before that was the 29, 30, 41, 48, and 64. So I'm going to make all those red numbers, and now I'm going to count how many there are. So I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 5 is 15. So I'm going to leave that alone at 15, okay? So the reason why I have just 3 of the red is because that will give me a maximum of 15 numbers, okay? So again, my goal is to have each color have 13 or 14 numbers to it, okay? So now I'm going to move on to the orange, and I'm going to start off with the 2. The 2, the 8, the 14 is already taken. The 24, the 69, the 1, 2, 3, 7, 39, the 5, 13, 28, 38, 63, and then the last one is 10, 17, 18, 43, and 65. So I'm going to make all those orange numbers. Okay, now I'm going to count them out. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So I'm going to make this 18. Okay, so you can see that I'm 4 above where I want to be. All right. Now this is the thing with the color code drawings. I can't change these colors. Okay, they're kind of embedded in stone. All right. So this is like a caterpillar. It'll just work its way down. Okay, and it will work. This color code will work its way out. Okay, so I've seen purple as many as 20. Blue as many as 20. Okay, the blue and the purple, they move around the most. Okay, but again, they'll get back to even. Well, they'll be like 14, 14, 14, and 13. Okay, so I'm going to go off to the green. I'm going to start with the 2. Now that's already taken. So the 12, 16, 29 is taken. 54, 8, 12, 20, 21 is open. 32 is taken. 23 is open. 25. Okay, 47. 48's taken. 50's taken. 5 is taken. The 8's taken. 41's taken. 65. 66 is open. 14 is taken. 29 is taken. The 31's open. 56 is open. 61 is open. And last row, 7's taken. 36 is open. 48's taken. 57 is open. And 58 is open. Okay, so I'm going to make all those green numbers. All right. So you can see that I started off with 3 red, then there's 4 orange, then there's even more green, then there's even more blue, okay? So the reason why I need to do that is because as the game card gets filled up with colors here, I need more blue to get up to that 13 or 14 mark, okay? So I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, so I'm going to count out the green. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is what I mean how the game card just kind of, the color code just kind of works its way out. Okay, so just to speed things up, I'm going to scroll over to the right here. And you can see that this is the game card for the 27th, okay? And you can see that there was 15 red numbers, 18 orange, 14 green, turned out to be 13 blue numbers and 9 purple numbers, okay? So again, more than half the time a 3-color combination comes up. So that means more than half the time 2 colors are not coming up, okay? So again, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. Okay, so let me scroll back here just a little bit. And you can see that a 5-color combination, all 5 colors do come up, but it's very rare. Only 11 times out of 309 drawings so far. Okay, so what I'm going to do, the strategy is here, is to eliminate what color you don't think is going to come up. Okay, so for me, I look at this and I see just a bunch of green from here down to here. Okay, so even though green has a lot more than purple here, I'm going to pick that no green numbers are going to come up. Okay, so it's just kind of like picking the ebb and flow with things here. So just because there's only 8 purple numbers doesn't mean that all 5 numbers won't be purple, you know. So again, I just think that the natural thing is that no green numbers are going to come up. So I'm going to eliminate all the green numbers off of the game card. Okay, so you can see that last drawing had no purple numbers and it had no orange numbers. Okay, so since there was only 8 purple numbers total, I'm going to say that if you were to pick the purple on the last drawing, you could have eliminated all those numbers. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. So I have 2 game cards here. The one on the left is for the last drawing, the 23rd. And on the right is this drawing for the 27th. Okay, so you can see the winning numbers down here. Okay, so I'm going to start off with no purple numbers because no purple numbers came up. So if you picked last drawing and said no purple numbers were going to come up, you could have eliminated all the purple numbers and you could have left the winning numbers in play. Okay, so here's the 4, the 6, the 14, the 20, and the 32. You can see that they're still left on the game card here. Okay, so for me, I don't think any green numbers are going to come up, so I'm going to get rid of all these green numbers here. Okay, so hopefully they won't. We'll see what happens. And I'm going to block them out. Okay, so when I block out a number like this, this means that I'm not even going to consider this number when I'm picking what I think would be the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so again, if I knock out this number, then, and I'm correct in doing it, if I'm correct in picking these numbers that don't come up, then the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers still have to be left on the game card here. Okay, so I want you to get more involved here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you draw out the game card. Okay, so this is what the game card looks like. So if you could pause the video, go grab some paper, draw this out. Okay, I'm going to head back to the game card here. Okay, so for you at home, let me get rid of this real quick. Okay, so for you at home, when it comes to knocking out a number, I want you to put an X, okay? That means you don't think that number is going to come up. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy here. And that's strategy number 2, the 50-50 picks. Okay, so with the 50-50 picks here, what this is there's 5 white winning Powerball numbers, okay? So there has to be a majority of either odd numbers or even numbers, or numbers to the high side or numbers to the low side. I like to keep track of that and try to make an educated guess on what the majority will be for the next drawing, okay? So for here, I'm going to make this 354 drawings so far, okay? And with the last drawing, the numbers were 4, 6, 14, 20, and 32. So all of the even numbers came up, so there was no odd numbers and 5 even numbers. So I'm going to make this 168. Okay, so 168 and 186 equals 354. Okay, so what I do here is in the past drawings here, I go every 5 drawings again, so it will show me a majority. And out of this 5 drawings here, the majority was odds 3 drawings to 2. Okay, and as I go down, the next 5 was odds 4 to 1, then evens, odds. Okay, so now I'm here where I know that the even numbers will win. Okay, so I could write this in. Evens, I'm not sure what it's going to be yet. Okay, I'm not sure if it's going to be 4 to 1 or 3 to 2, but 3 to 2 comes up the most. Okay, so since there's already 3 evens, I'm going to choose that no odd numbers are going to come up. Okay, so I'm just going to write that over here. I think there's going to be more odd numbers than evens. Okay. So as I go on to the next one, this is high and low, so all the numbers in blue are considered low, all the numbers in red are considered high. Okay, so with the last drawing here, you can see that it was 4, 6, 14, 20, 32. That's all on the low side. 4, 6, 14, 20, and 32 were all in the blue, so it's all considered low. So I'm going to write in a 5 and a 0, and I'm going to make this 176. Okay, so 176 and 178 equal that 354. All right. So here, I'm not sure what the majority is going to be, either low or high. Okay, so as I go down through, you can see that high had a little run here. So I'm kind of thinking that it's going to stay to the low side. Okay, so for me, I'm going to say that there's going to be more odd numbers and more low numbers, okay, for the majority. All right, so I'm going to head back to this 50-50 pick. And this is left and right here, okay? So I already put this in. The right won it the last time, so again was the 4, 20, the 6, 14, and 32. So you can see the majority was to the right side, okay? So again, 3 to 2 happens most of the time here, okay? So I'm thinking that that's going to happen again. I think it's going to be more to the left side than the right side. Okay, so I'm just going to write that down as well. And I want you to write it down, what you think is going to happen. Okay? So you can see the last 20 drawings have been the majority to the right side. Okay? And actually, this is going to be to the right as well, but I think it's going to be 3 drawings to 2. So again, I think the majority of the numbers will be over here to the left side. Okay? So one last one. This is red and blue. And for the last drawing, more blue numbers came up. Okay? The 6, 14, and 32. All right? So blue was way behind, 156 to 198. But since it hit 4 drawings in a row, I'm thinking that the next drawing is going to be red. Okay, but I'm not really sure. So I'm going to leave that alone. I'm not going to pick there. Okay. And then as I move on to the right here, this is for the Powerball number. Okay, I do have something for the Powerball number. All right. So in this column over here to the left, if a low number came up, well, basically what I did is I took the 26 red numbers and I divided it into 2. So if you see a blue number, then that means it's low, 1 to 13. If you see a red number, then that means it's high, 14 to 26. And over in this column, it's odds and evens. So if you see a red number, it's odds. If you see a blue number, it's evens. Okay. So the reason why I do that is now I just kind of look at the colors. Okay. So when I see a big run, let me show you a big run here or something. Well, right here. Okay, so if you have a big run of red, well, I know eventually it's going to be blue. I just have to correctly guess when that's going to happen. Okay, so because there was a big run up here of red, okay, I'm going to say that there's going to be a big run of blue. So I think that this Powerball number is going to be low. Okay. And I also think it's going to be red over here, so I think it's going to be odds, okay? So I think it's, for me, I'm going to go with the 9, okay? The 9 just hasn't come up in a while. Let's see. I think the last one was right here, okay? So it's been a little while since it's come up. The 9 has a history of coming up a lot, so we'll see if that comes up or not, okay? So let me go back one more time, okay? This green means that the Powerball repeated itself. You can see that the 18 came up, and then the next drawing, the 18 came up again, okay? So I have those around as well. Okay, so I'm going to work my way up kind of slowly So you could try to guess correctly what the winning Powerball would be. So just getting the winning Powerball will help get your money back, okay? So I'm off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss. I'm sorry, strategy number 3, the individual numbers. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the individual numbers, okay? And how this works is, let me scroll this down so you can see the whole card. Okay, so what I did is I took the 69 numbers and I divided it into 7 different groups, okay? So group number 1 over here is the only one with 9 numbers, 1 through 9. And then it's the teens, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. Again, for 7 groups total. Okay, so there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So I know that 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the strategy is try to correctly guess which one of these groups won't have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so with the last drawing, we could have eliminated the 60 numbers, okay? So why don't I go ahead and do that right now. Going to go back to the game card. And on the last drawing, I'm going to eliminate all the 60 numbers. Okay. So you can still see that the 5 white winning Powerball numbers are still in play. Okay. So for this drawing, I'm going to say that no 20 numbers are going to come up. Okay. And the reason why is because out of these 5 drawings here, okay, I like to break things down into 5, okay? The biggest reason is to show a majority of things. But here, there's really no majority to look at, okay? But what I do see is that every 5 drawings, the strategy is that if there's a lot of hits, like within this teens right here, you can see that there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If there's a lot of hits within these 5 drawings, then maybe there won't be so many hits in the next 5 drawings, okay? So that's how I kind of look at things, all right? Now with the 20s, you can see that there was 4 so far, then 4, 3, 4, 3, okay? So it's been pretty hot, and I just think that it's ran out, okay? So I just hoping that no 20 numbers are going to come up, so I'm going to eliminate them off of the game card. Okay, so one last thing that I have over here, and how you can use this is I wrote down the winning numbers, the 4, 6, 14, 20, and 32, and that turned out to be a 4-group combination. Okay, so this hit 4 out of the 7 groups. Okay, so you can see that a 4 comes up the most, but a 3 comes up second most here, okay? So I'm thinking that this is definitely going to be a 3 right here, okay? So when I pick my numbers, I want it to represent 3 of these groups that I have, okay? So let me go to the game card and eliminate the 20 numbers off of this drawing here. Okay, so I'll get rid of those. Hopefully, none of those will come up, okay? And the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers are still left here on the game card, just like over here. Okay, so I'm off to the next strategy. And that's strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call my group 1 numbers. Okay, so basically what I did is I took all the numbers and I divided it into 4 different groups, and I put colors to these groups. Okay, so when the 5 white winning Powerball numbers land within these groups, I record where they land down here in the stats. Okay, so for the last drawing, I had the 4 and the 20 over in the red, so I'm going to put 2 in the red. Okay. Then it was the 6, 14, and 32 in the blue. So I'm going to put 3 in the blue. Okay. So there's no winning numbers in the orange area and no winning numbers in the green area. Okay, so the strategy is, if I could have correctly guessed that there was no winning numbers here in this green area, I could have eliminated all these numbers and gave myself a much better chance at winning the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so what I do is, for these zeros, I colored the background blue for cold. Okay, and if there's a hit, then I color it red for hot. Okay, and here, since this missed, I'm going to make this 99 and this 87. Okay, so now this tells me that there's 87 zeros within this green column here. Okay. Okay, so that's how that's used, and now I'm going to go over one more. I have 15 of these option cards. So here's option card number 2. I'm just going to update this one, and then the rest are already updated. Okay, so here we go. The 4 and the 20 are blue. 6 and 14 are orange, and 1 green. So there's no red numbers. 2 blue, 2 orange, and 1 green. Okay, so I'm going to make these red. And I'm going to make this blue over here. And I'm going to change this to 68. Okay. So now I like to look through this and try to find some kind of an advantage. Okay. The funny thing about an advantage is that it's only in the eye of the beholder. Okay. So you may look at it. What I'm trying to say is that we're all going to look at this differently. Okay. So I may look at this and say, gee, I think there's going to be a row here. Okay, and what a row means is that all 4 colors came up. Okay, I call that a row. And that happens. And when I don't see a row happen, like over here, then I think it's due to happen. Okay, so let's say that I'm thinking that there's going to be a row here. When I pick the 5 white winning Powerball numbers, if I think that this is going to be a row, I want it to represent each one of these 4 different color groups here, okay? Okay, so off to the next one. Now what I'm going to do is I want you to keep track of just the green numbers here, okay? I want to show you the group 1 overview, okay? So there's 1 green with a 0 to it. I'm just counting the zeros. There's 2. There's 3. There's 4. And that's it. So you can see that there was 4 zeros, okay? That's all I count is the zeros, okay? So you can see that I colored it red, okay? And the orange had 5 zeros to it where I colored it blue, okay? So I want some separation is why I'm doing this, okay? So 5, I made it 5 where I'm going to start coloring it blue. It's because that's a third of the option cards, okay? So when I could correctly guess that there's going to be a blue mark here, then I'm thinking that there's going to be at least 5 of these option cards with a 0 to it in that certain color, okay? So I'm not sure what's going to happen here, okay? I'm thinking that there's going to be more green, a lot of zeros in the green area, okay? So total, there was 16 zeros in the last drawing among these 15 option cards. Okay, so I like to pick at least 2 of them. Sometimes I pick 3, but I think the more you pick from this, the better chance you're going to have to eliminate the winning Powerball numbers. So I just like to pick 2 of them. All right. Now for the last drawing, if you were to pick, if you were to say that no green numbers were to come up, You could have eliminated all the green numbers on this last drawing, just like so, and got rid of them all, okay? So that's what I think is going to happen here. I think there's going to be another 0 right here, okay? So I don't think any of these green numbers are going to come up again. So I'm going to get rid of them, okay? So for this drawing here, I'm going to get rid of all these green numbers, which is huge, especially if they don't come up, okay? So I'm going to make another pick. And the other one is option card number 3, no green numbers. So you can see that no green numbers came up in the last time. So I'm going to get rid of that for the last drawing here, no green numbers. Okay, so the reason why I'm getting rid of the 58 is because it shares the square with the 68 here with this group 1 numbers, okay? So what that means is I'm keeping track of all these numbers here, okay? There's 4 and 4 is 8, but then there's the 58 and the 53 as well, which shares the square right here with the 69. Okay, so instead of getting rid of just 16 numbers, I'm actually getting rid of 18 numbers. I'm keeping track of 18 numbers here, okay? And you can see that the last drawing, none of these 18 numbers came up, okay? So I think that's going to happen again with this number 3, the green area. You can see that some of these zeros, they double up, okay? Sometimes they even triple up or quadruple up. Here, I just got a bunch of single zeros here, okay? And I'm thinking that there's going to be a 0 right here, okay? So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to get rid of all these green numbers off of this drawing, okay? So I don't think any of these numbers are going to come up, and hopefully they don't. So I'm going to get rid of them, okay? So hopefully the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers are still within this game card that are still highlighted here, okay? Just like over here. Again, here's the winning numbers, okay? You can still see that they're still alive over here, okay? So I'm off to the next strategy here. Okay, and that's strategy number 4, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 1. I'm sorry. Strategy number 5, picking the numbers I hope will miss from group 2. Okay, so we're almost done here. I'm going to show you how this works, all right? So this looks like group 1 a lot here. So basically what I did is, instead of breaking it into 4 different groups, I broke this into 8 different groups, okay? So it's just another way of looking at groups of numbers, all right? So I have the stats down here. Stats for the red, blue, orange, green, purple, brown, gray, and yellow. And I have that for all 15 option cards that I have on this one as well, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pick this. So it was the 4 green, 6 and 14 brown, and then it was the 20 green and the 32 yellow, okay? So I always like to read it in the order of the colors here, okay? So I had 2 green, 2 brown, and 1 yellow. So as I go down here, there was nothing in the red. There's no winning Powerballs in the blue. No winning Powerballs in the orange. There's 2 in the green. None in the purple. 2 in the brown. No winning Powerballs in the gray area, and 1 in the yellow. Okay, so there was 3 total. 3 color groups that were hit. Okay, so since the majority of the numbers are over here to the right side, I'm going to color this green 3. I'm going to color the 3 green. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so again, there's going to be a majority because there's 5 winning Powerball numbers here, okay? And again, you can see that 2 of them were in the brown and 1 of them were in the yellow, so that means the majority was over here to the right side. Okay, so now what these yellow things are for is that this is right on the verge. You can see that there's 2 hits, 2 misses, and as I'm looking at this, you have to decide where you think the 0 is going to be, okay? So there's 8 of these color groups. There's 5 white winning Powerball numbers, so I know that 3 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. So the strategy is try to correctly pick which one of these groups won't have the winning Powerball number to it and eliminate that group of numbers off of the game card. Okay, so what this 3 is for the red area here. You can see that there's 3 red marks, okay? So I only count the red marks here, okay? So when I haven't seen a 3 or a 5 for a while, then I look at this and I say, well, I think this could be a 5, so I know that one of these things is going to have a miss to it, right? So in the last drawing, you can see that no red came up, okay? So none of these red numbers came up. So you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 squares, but the 65 and the 25 share this square, so I'm looking at 9 numbers and not 8, okay? I'm keeping track of 9 numbers and not 8, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the game card here for the last drawing, and I'm going to get rid of these red numbers. Okay, so the 25 shares the square with the 65, so I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, and for this drawing here, I am going to pick that no yellow numbers are going to come up. Okay, so as I look at this yellow, and I also want to explain why this is red and this is blue. Okay, so again, I keep track of every 5 drawings. So you can see that there was 3 hits out of the 5. So when that happens, I color the background blue for I color the background red for hot. And here you can see that there was 4 misses, so I colored the background blue for cold. Okay. Now since the lottery is so random, I know that nothing can stay hot forever, and I know that nothing can stay cold forever. Okay, like this yellow, you can see that it was pretty hot. Now I'm expecting it to turn cold and have a bunch of blue coming up here, okay? So I'm going to start off with, I think the 0 is going to be right here. Okay, so we'll see what happens. So I'm going to eliminate all these yellow numbers off of this drawing's game card. Okay, so we're over at this drawing, and the only one left is the 32, so I want to get rid of that. Okay. Actually, the 8 shares the square with the 66, so I want to get rid of the 8 as well. Okay, so now that I explained things on how things work, now I'll just move on a little bit more quickly here. Sorry, I just want to get rid of these to free up some space. Okay, so here we go back to group 2. All right, so for the next one, again, it was the 4 red, 6 red, 14 was blue, 20 was orange, and the 32 was green. So I got 2 red, 1 blue, 1 orange, 1 green. So again, I have 2 red, 1 blue, 1 orange, and 1 green. Okay, so that means there's no winning Powerball numbers in the orange, in the purple, none in the brown, none in the gray, and none in the yellow. Okay, so there was 4 groups that got hit. Okay, they were all on the left side here, so I'm going to color this 4 red. Okay, So again, you can see that all these yellows here means it's right on the verge. Okay, the last one was a three red areas. Now I only have one. So I'm not sure what's going to happen here, but for the last drawing, there was no purple numbers. So I'm going to get rid of all these purple numbers on the last drawing here. Okay, so this was the last drawing. And for this drawing, I'm going to say that no red numbers are going to come up. Okay, so you can see that things have been really hot here, and now I think that this is going to be a 0 to make the background blue. Okay, so we'll see what happens, but I don't think any of these red numbers are going to come up, so I want to get rid of them in this drawing here. Sorry, I just need to get rid of this one. Screwing me up for some reason. Okay, so again, for this drawing, I want to get rid of all those red numbers. And there they go. So hopefully I'm correct. All right, so moving on to the next one. Option card number 3 here. The last one was brown. You can see that there was no brown here. So I'm going to go back to the, I'm going to go up and I'm going to see where the brown is. It's the 5 and the 34. So no brown numbers came up in the last drawing. So I'm going to get rid of the 5 and the 34. Okay. Now for this drawing here, I think that the background is going to be blue here because it's so long. So I think the 0 is going to be right here. Okay. So we'll see what happens, but I don't think any brown numbers are going to come up in this drawing either. So again, I'm going to get rid of the 5 and the 34 in this drawing. Okay, so one last thing that I'm going to do here, all right, is you can see that with this option card number 1, the red was 0, blue was 0, orange was 0, green was 2, purple was 0, brown was 2, gray was 0, and yellow was 1. Okay, so it was 0, 0, 0, 2. So what I'm going to do here is this keeps track of all 15 option cards. I call it the Group 2 overview. Okay, so there was a 0 in the red, 0 in the blue, 0 in the orange, and 2 in the green. Okay, and for the purple, it was 0, 2, 0, 1. 0, 2, 0, 1. Okay, and I'm going to go and do option card number 2 as well. So it was 2, 1, 1, 1. And then it was 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so that just gives you an idea of what's going on with these 15 option cards. Okay, so for the last drawing, there was 7 hits, 8 misses within this red area. So when that happens, the majority is misses. So I colored the background blue. for cold. Okay. So now I go to this group 1. This is where I keep the group 2 overview. Okay. So here's the group 1 overview, and now next to it is group 2 overview. Okay, so again, I'm up to 354. The red was 7 hits, 8 misses. Okay. The blue was 8 hits, 7 misses, and all the way across. Okay. So I only count the red marks. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So what this is geared up for you to do is look at this and say, gee, I think there's going to be lots of hits in the orange area. Okay. And I think there's going to be lots of misses in the brown area. Okay. So if you're thinking that there's going to be lots of hits in the brown area, then as you're going through this, then maybe you'll look at it and say, gee, in the back of my mind, I think there's going to be lots of hits in the brown, so maybe there'll be a 0 right here as well in this brown area. Okay, so that's what that's geared up for. Okay, so I'm off to number 4, and in the last drawing, no yellow numbers came up. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of those yellow numbers in the last drawing, the 65 and the 61. Okay, and in this drawing, I'm thinking that no red numbers are going to come up. So here's the red over here. You can see that it's been pretty hot, and now I think a 0 is going to come up. So no red numbers, I hope. Okay, the 5 and the 33 for this drawing. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Okay, now before I get too far ahead of myself, what I want to do is start off here at option card number 1 and let you pick where you think the 0 is going to be. Okay, so go ahead and X off where you think that, like if you think it's going to be purple right here, then X out all these purple numbers off of your game card. Okay, so I'm going to go to option card number 2. Now you could pause the video if you need to. Okay, if you need more time to make a decision. Okay, so pause the video. And again, pause the video up here to X out the numbers that you need to X out. Okay, and then here's 3. Again, pause the video if you need to. And pause the video again to X out the numbers. Okay, so off to number 4. Okay. And pause the video if you need to. Okay, so now we're working on number 5. And the last one, there was no orange numbers here. So I'm going to get rid of the orange in the last drawing. You can see that there's nothing here to get rid of. Okay. So in this one, I'm going to go with no gray numbers. I'm hoping that this is going to be a 0 as well right here. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of all these numbers on this drawing. The only one left is the 43. Okay, so now I'm going to head back down and let you pick where you think that 0 is going to be. And here's the numbers for it. So again, pause the video if you need to. Okay, in 6, the last drawing, there was no yellow numbers, so I'm going to get rid of these yellow numbers. The 2, 9, 18, 65 in the last drawing. Okay, so in this drawing, I am going to get rid of the brown right here, okay? I think there's going to be a 0 right here. So it's the 8, 15, 24, 31. I'll get rid of the 15 here. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down again. Choose where you think the 0 is going to be. And X them out. So again, pause the video if you need to. Okay, so here's number 7. In the last drawing, no green numbers came up. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the green from the last drawing, and that's the 4968. You can see that there's nothing here. Okay, so for this drawing, I'm going to get rid of no blue numbers. I think this is going to stay cold. I think there's going to be a 0 here. So I'm going to get rid of these blue, the 33, 42, 35, and 44. Okay, so let me scroll down. Take your time. Pause the video if you need to. Make your selection. And X them out up here. Okay? So again, pause the video if you need to. I'm moving on. On the last one for number 8, no brown numbers came up, as you can see. So I'm going to get rid of the brown. That's the 2, 11, 18, 28. So I'm going to get rid of the 11 and the 43. And for this drawing, I'm going to get rid of purple numbers. Okay, I kind of think that this stays cold, so I think there's going to be a 0 here. So I'm going to get rid of the 1, 12, 17, 27. Okay, so the 17 is the only one that's going. Okay, so let me scroll down for you. Again, you choose where you think the 0 is going to be. Pause the video if you need to. And then here's the numbers that you'll be Xing out. Okay, off to number 9. Okay, last drawing. No gray numbers came up. So I'm going to get rid of the gray for the last drawing. And it was the 10, 67, and 730. So the 19 shares the square with the 67. So I'll get rid of that as well. And the 7 and the 30. Okay, so you can still see that the numbers are still in play. Okay, so for this drawing here, number 9, I'm going to say that no purple numbers are going to come up. So hopefully there'll be a 0 right here. I'm going to get rid of the 11, 18, 5, 32. Okay, so I'm going to go back for you. Make a decision on where you think the 0 is going to be. Again, remember, there's going to be at least 3 zeros. On average, there's 4. Okay? So make your pick. Pause the video if you need to eliminate those numbers. Okay? Off to number 10. The last drawing was no orange numbers, as you can see. 318 all the way around. I'll just get rid of the 3. Okay, so for this drawing, I am going to get rid of the the blue numbers. I think there's going to be a 0 right here. Okay. So 267 all the way around. And that's it. Okay, so let me go back for you. Okay, so make a decision on where you think that 0 is going to be. Okay. Pause the video if you need to. And eliminate the group of numbers that you think are the 0 is going to be. Okay, so off to 11. Last drawing, no brown numbers came up. Okay, so if you got rid of all the brown numbers in the last drawing, it was the 2, 23, 37, and 52. Get rid of the 23, and the 31. Okay, and for this drawing, I'm going to get rid of the brown as well. I just think that this is going to be a 0 as well right here. Okay. So again, that's the 2, 23, 37, 52. Okay, the rest are all gone. And that brings me down to my 5 numbers here. Okay. So I think it's going to be the 9, 14, 30, 41, and 65. Okay, so we're still working over here on the last drawing here. So let me go down. Make sure I don't forget about you at home. Take your time. Pause the video if you need to pick that 0. And then eliminate those numbers here. Okay, so moving on. Pause the video if you need to. The last drawing, there was no brown numbers. As you can see, no brown. So I'm going to get rid of the brown, the 7, and the 35 here. Okay, and for me, I'm already done. Now for you. Okay, take your time. Pick where you think that 0 is going to be. Pause the video if you need to. And I'm moving on. Okay, so the last drawing, there was no green numbers on option card 13, you could see. So I'm going to get rid of the 9 and the 45. I'll get rid of that 12. Okay, and now it's up to you. Pick where you think that 0 is going to be. Pause the video if you need to. And again, pause the video if you need to X out all those numbers. Okay, 14 almost done. The last one. You can see that no gray numbers came up. So it's the 66, 12, 24, 28. And that didn't knock out that 15, okay? So but it did knock out the 8. Okay, the 8 shares the square with the 66, so I'll get rid of that 8. Okay, so now let me go back and let you do your thing. Okay, so again, pause the video if you need to. Guess where that 0 is going to pop up? One of 3 of them. And again, pause the video if you need to X out those numbers. Okay, off to the last one here. Okay, in the last one, no gray numbers came up, as you can see. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of the gray, and you can see that the gray takes out that 15. Okay, so there it is. There's the winning numbers, the 4, 6, 14, 20, and 32. Okay, so hopefully I did the same thing this drawing. Hopefully I picked all the ones that aren't going to come up. And that will lead to 14, the 9, 14, 30, 41, and 65 to come up. Okay, so let me go back to 15 here so you can make your decision on where you think that 0 is going to be. Again, pause the video if you need to. And here's the numbers that you could X out, so pause the video if you need to again. Okay, so all right, so again, the numbers that I'm going to go with are the 9, 14, 30, 41, and 65. Okay, so I just want to go over the odds here. All right, if you're interested in playing my game, the odds of getting the grand prize, all 5 white ball numbers and the red ball, is 1 in 292 million. Okay, so my goal is to get all 5 white balls correct, and that is, the odds are 1 in 11,688. Okay, so in other words, there are 11,688 different 5-number combinations that you can make out of that 69 numbers. Okay, so the next one is 4 numbers in the Powerball. That pays $50,000, so that's pretty nice. That's 1 in a million odds. And then $100 prize is 1 in 14,000. All right. Just give you an idea of what's going on. So I know the odds are astronomical. So my game is just for entertainment, basically. Okay. And in closing, I want to thank you for watching. Okay. If you'd like to support my channel, please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. As always, I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.